Welcome to the Village of North Hudson Candidate Forum. My name is Mary Claire Olson Potter, and it is my pleasure to welcome you and our candidates here tonight. During this forum, you will hear from 4 candidates that are running for 3 open seats on the Village of North Hudson board. So let's meet our candidates. We have Tim Zayas, who is an incumbent. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you.
Brian Pike, also an incumbent. Good to see you, Brian. We welcome Jenny Hanson.
Yes.
Good to see you. Thank you. And Jen Merrill, welcome.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Appreciate all of you being here tonight for this great conversation. So I have 4 questions that I'm just going to walk through, and as we talked about earlier, we'll alternate the turn. So Jen, I'm going to start with you, and please tell us about yourself, your background, and your qualifications.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Merrill. I live at 1128 Riverside Drive. I moved here from Burkhart back in 2011. I've been a police officer for 3 different agencies for the last 22 years, and I'm currently holding a position with the Washington County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff. I also I'm serving in the military and served since 2004 as an Army medevac pilot. Been deployed twice, one to Iraq, once to Afghanistan, and then multiple state activations for local emergencies for the state of Minnesota, to include the fires up in the northern Minnesota.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Brian, same questions. Tell us about yourself, your background, and your qualifications.
Well, I'm still married to my high school sweetheart, although it's up to 46 years now. We raised 6 kids. We moved out to North Hudson 27 years ago, and that was due because we wanted our kids in these schools. I graduated from Tennessee Temple University in Chattanooga, Tennessee, with a Bachelor of Religious Education degree, which is basically a pastoral degree. I came back home to an associate pastor and principal of a church and Christian day school. And then 2 years later, I started and ran a church for 10 years. Never took an income from the church. I was always trying to do technology work on the side, which I was learning as I went. I didn't have any technology background, but eventually that became a passion for me, and I went off after 10 years of pastoring to a technology job, which led to another technology job, eventually to a vice president of information technology for a Fortune 500 company. I helped start a lot of way back before you knew much about technology, I started a lot of networks, internal networks and external networks across the country. I have served on the board here now for 7 years, and I represented the cable board for 4 years. Those are my qualifications.
All right, thank you so much. Tim, same question.
Thank you. I live in 629 Cherry Circle North. I've been a resident of North Hudson for over 33 years. I've been married to my wife for 36 years, Diane. We have 3 grown daughters. 2 are married, and each one has a grandchild for us, thank God. I'm employed by a financial institution as a risk control manager. On my volunteer side, I'm a president of the North Hudson Pepperfest and also part of the North Hudson Neighborhood Watch. I'm seeking my 4th term as a village trustee, shared on the Public Works, on the Finance Committee, and in the last 3 years I was chair of the Public Safety. Those are my qualifications.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Jenny.
Hi, my name is Jenny Hanson. I live at 711 Lynn Circle North here in North Hudson. I'm currently a dental hygienist. I've been practicing by choice in private practice with Dr. Bardell here in North Hudson for the past 13 years. My husband Chris is a high school Phi Ed teacher here in Hudson. We moved to North Hudson in 2001, moved to Hudson though in 2000. We have raised 2 kids in North Hudson and through the Hudson School District, and I just am getting my feet wet and checking out politics.
All right, thank you. The second question, I'll start with Brian on this one. Why are you interested in serving on the North Hudson Village Board?
I was initially asked to fill a vacated role on the board back in 2015. This is also my 4th term, plus that extra year. I have found the past 6 years to be really fulfilling. It has given me a good opportunity because I traveled so much before I got on the board, It gave me a great opportunity to get to know the residents of North Hudson. When you're on the village board, you can't help but get to know them. They will seek you out and find you. And I really have enjoyed that piece of it. It's great to be able to help people, to actually have answers and be able to point them to the right person when you're out and about. And one of my main focuses since I've been on the board has always been to keep our taxes down. And we've been able to do that.
Excellent. Thank you. Tim?
Thank you. My interest falls more on serving the community. I feel that, my volunteer activities that I'm currently doing with the Pepperfest and Neighborhood Watch are one part of that, but having direct contact with the community in this role is more fulfilling for me. I come from a large family that's given a lot back to their community they grew up in. I enjoy living in this village. I raised my family here. And from that aspect, that's why I would like to continue serving as a North Hudson trustee.
All right. Thank you. Jenny?
I also was asked to run for this election, and I've been very active in my boys' lives with their different sporting activities. And now that they're grown, I do have a little bit more time to give back to the community. And that was one of the reasons why I thought really hard about applying for this position or trying for this election, is that I really want to give back now for all of the wonderful things that we've had and have had fortunate in our lives. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Jen?
Oh, great. Most of my adult life has been spent in various capacities serving folks. I take great pride in jobs which I can serve others, and this would be no different. I would take great pride in serving a term as a trustee. Taking on this position as a trustee would be a learning curve. I mean, I'm not ignorant to the fact that there's a lot to learn in a short period of time, but I know I've got some great folks here already who encouraged me to apply for this position. I have worked in both large and small group setting on different projects. I have a willingness to dive in a wide range of issues and the ability to communicate thoughts in a clear and concise manner. I'm excited for the opportunity to be a part of the board and make good decisions that will benefit the citizens of North Hudson. I love this city. I love this little town. It's great to be here.
All right. Thank you so much. Our next question, I'll start with Tim. What are your priorities and vision for North Hudson if you get elected?
Well, one of the things I'm going to look back is what's happened over the last couple of years, Mary Claire. First of all, the construction of Highway 35 has impacted our North Hudson through that period, and also the pandemic period also. So through that period, I spent time collecting the number of businesses in North Hudson, and people wouldn't believe there's over 40 different businesses in North Hudson that are currently in operation. I went door to door to most of them, contacting them and getting their information, and then using that information basically through email to keep them updated on the road construction projects. Now that construction's over, I'd like to use that tool that I collected to somehow promote our businesses, because I feel they still are somewhat hampered by some of the past 2 years, and somehow create some type of a local focus group and review, discuss, and kind of create a plan, kind of like the Hudson Chamber does. I mean, kind of keep that in line of what we're trying to do here in North Hudson. And we have a couple businesses that need to be are currently vacant, and hopefully we can move to a direction of promoting more of those businesses in the area. So.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. Jenny?
For me, public safety is a top priority, a top concern, that we continue to support our police department here, and we continue to provide great protection for our village. One thing I would like to explore, if elected to this position, is possibly at some point in time bringing on a fire department right within our village area. And then also being employed here in the village and working in the village, I'd sure like to see more businesses come to our community. I think we have a lot to offer. I think the residents would really like more business here as well.
All right. Thank you. Jen?
My top priorities are public safety and taxes. I want to ensure that the citizens feel safe in their home as well as their favorite North Hudson restaurant or shop at. Obviously, I'm a strong advocate for police department, being a cop myself. I'm going to be their biggest supporter. I've had the opportunity to meet with some of the officers, and boy, do they bring an impressive level of professionalism and commitment to this community. So I'm very, very happy with our police department. Also, the board has done an excellent job of keeping the taxes below the cost of living, and I want to continue to be able to do that, serving as a trustee if I'm elected. And again, I'm just going to mirror what Tim and Jenny has said is the businesses. I was unaware there was 40 different businesses, but now knowing that, encouraging more to explore those businesses and promote them would be definitely one of my duties as a trustee to make sure that those are being explored. My vision for North Hudson mirrors everybody in this room. We want what's best for this city, the infrastructure, and not at the cost of a taxpayer. So,
All right, thank you. Brian?
For the last 7 years that I've been here, I've been on public works, and so I've been concentrating a lot on the infrastructure, the streets, the roads, the sewers, the water. Last year we signed a new contract, a support contract with Hudson on our water, new water agreement. And so that's put some other challenges on us. We have to keep an eye, because the infrastructure is owned by North Hudson, want to make sure that it's being maintained properly. So that's add a little bit of extra work to us. We're constantly evaluating our streets. Hudson has mentioned that it would take about $124 million to upgrade their streets to catch up. And we don't want to let that happen here. So I've been staying on top of that. We go after every grant we can. Someone said, "Are you in favor of grants?" And I go, well, once the money has been allocated, our taxpayers are paying for it. So I'm going to do everything I can to get as much of that for our taxpayers as I can. And we've got 2 coming up this year. We'll be working on Wisconsin Street, which is although it's a short run, it's about 2-3 blocks. It's a complete water and sewer replacement. So we have to rip up the road very much like we had to do with a lot of 35. We're doing a smaller project on St. Croix Street, which is just a mill and an overlay to fix all the bumps and cracks and make that street look nice again. We have sewer and water pipe system that needs to be really carefully thought out. I mean, when you're tearing up sewer and water pipes, you're talking $1 million projects, generally speaking. So again, another reason for us to go after as many grants as we can. I'm a lot about plan. So we are constantly looking at our 5-year capital plan and adjusting as we see fit. We have a very large retaining wall that is going to have to be upgraded or fixed one of these days, and that is a big chunk of money. And we're looking at the infrastructure bill to see if we can get any money out of that to help us with that particular project. Other than sewer or other than infrastructure, Tim's Pepperfest group has been working to get us a community center up. And I told him I would try and help a little bit more with that this year, because we think that'd be a great addition. I've listened to him about the concept, and it sounds just great. And it would fit really in with the Pepperfest parade and all that stuff. So those are my visions for the future.
Well, the Pepperfest Festival draws so many people into this community, and we answer a lot of calls and information calls about people excited about it. So I know it was rough when it didn't happen, but thrilled to have it back last year, and I know that it'll be even bigger and even better this year. So for our final question, I'm going to start with Jenny. Are there any additional further comments that you'd like to make tonight?
I guess I just would really like to express how much we have enjoyed living in North Hudson, and we continue to want to create a nice community. I do appreciate all the work that has gone on before today. And yeah, I'm just hoping to help as best I can.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Jen?
First of all, I'd like to thank the River Channel for giving me the opportunity to be heard. Regardless of who you support in the election, please get out and vote April 5th. I met with both Brian and Tim prior, and they're stand-up guys. They're the epitome of what a citizen would want in their trustee, hands down. To be a trustee requires commitment and leadership, and amongst those other good traits, I am committed to this position. I've developed leadership skills over the past 20 years, and which would benefit the citizens of North Hudson if I'm elected. I'm really happy to be here, and again, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Brian?
Other comments? Again, I will come back to taxes. I mean, I've done comparisons in this meeting before between our taxes and Hudson's taxes, and while they keep going up, the village has had over the last 2 years their taxes go down. If you look at your little tax statement, it'll show a negative number for North Hudson. I'm not talking about the schools or WITC or those others. I'm just look at North Hudson if you're a resident, and you'll see that it went down again. It went down more this time than it did the previous year. So I think we're doing a pretty good job of managing the budget and with the levy limits that are out there. And we are always bumping up against them, trying to find new ways to save. Our Public Works Department has done a great job of saving a ton of money. I'm so proud of that department as well. And then we have one at least very large building project coming this next year, which is like the final big project in North Hudson as far as land goes. And that's the 40 acres up in the top northeast corner. We're already starting to hear from the Planning Commission on Public Works about how that's going to go. And it's going to be a big project. It's going to bring a lot of homes into the North Hudson. And then other than that, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Tim?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Mary Claire, for hosting this panel. I want to thank our village administrator. I want to thank the staff inside our office of the village. I want to thank our public works director and our public safety chief. And I also want to thank our village president, Stan. Being part of that for 6 years, I know how hard they all work, and it makes it easier on all of us as being a trustee. I want to thank Brian for his past work in chairing the public works. I used to be on that committee. I know the work behind all that, and I think he's done a fantastic job in keeping that under control. I want to thank Jen and Jenny and Brian for running this year. And finally, I want to thank the community for viewing this, and I strongly encourage everyone who's eligible to vote to get out to vote April 5th.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will just check. I don't believe we have any questions from the audience tonight.
You might want to let them know that this year, because in our previous times we weren't allowing questions, and
Okay.
they might show up next time if they know you're going to let them ask some questions.
So we don't really know how that question part will go next time.
Hey, we don't.
We don't know how that will go. So I certainly want to thank each and every one of you for participating today, and thank you for your willingness to serve. It does take a lot of time, and we greatly appreciate that, and your commitment to continue to make North Hudson, a great community to live, work, visit, and do business. So thank you so much for that. And as the others have said, just a reminder to get out and vote on April 5th. And for the River Channel, I'm Mary Claire Olson Potter. Thank you so much.